And we return to the Upside Down world and the 1980s, all that jazz, Stranger Things. I'm bored now, back with Rachel McDonald as we near the end game of the first season of the Netflix show. So this is going to be season 1, episode 7, chapter 7. I love saying the chapters. It's called The Bathtub. So full spoilers from the start of this review, just in case you haven't seen it up to this point. And things really cranking up towards the finale of the season now. And most of the tension at the start of this episode and throughout really is from the fact that the government officials, the CIA, now know that these children have knowledge of what they're up to, and the truck's out to try and get them, to try and obviously they're sort of doing it undercover where they're pretending to be like service people. Mike and his friends like cotton on to, hey, these, because I think Lucas warns them, doesn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, Lucas radios and warns them. So they kind of make their escape, and you get like obviously the different government officials trying to like get information out of the parents, trying to get them on board. You have freaky white-haired guy, the Matthew Modine character, saying to Karen, "Do you trust me?" And me shouting at the screen, "Of course you don't trust him. Look at him.
Yep.
Listen to the way he's talking. Don't trust that guy." So we get that stuff. We get obviously Hopper and Joyce come across Nancy and Jonathan because they've obviously been brought in because of the whole fight from the last episode. Jonathan and Nancy has been on this hunt and they know things, and that's when they get to contact the kids, and CIA are on their way to try and get to the kids, and Hopper is trying to get to the kid as well. We obviously get more on Rachel's favourite, Steve Harrington, and his sort of redemption arc, if you like. You know, he actually takes big steps in this episode to start redeeming himself. So Rachel, what did you think?
Another solid episode. I mean, like we've discussed, I don't think there's a bad episode in this season. I really think that they really amp up the stakes and the tension in this episode. You know, it's a very intense episode. Lots of moments where you're like on the edge of your seat. But I think there's also some really great character work in here. I really like that this is the episode where you see Lucas finally realize that, yes, Elle has been telling the truth. She is in danger. You know, she's not the bad guy. We have a beautiful little reconciliation scene where he apologizes to her and she apologizes for lying, and then Mike, you know, offers his hand like we, you know, in the previous episode, Dustin's like, you need to shake his hand. And so we get the kids, you know, kind of come back together, and Lucas definitely makes up for all of his kind of suspicious and mean behavior up until this point in time, because once he's on side with Elle, like he fully commits and he's very protective of her like the other two are. And I think that the kids again just have such a great dynamic and it's so fun to watch them. But at the same time, again, I'm just watching them going, these are little kids, like leave them alone. Get that great inversion of the scene where you think it's going to be like E.T. and the bicycles are going to fly, but no, instead Elle flips the van over them, which is one of the best shots and best scenes in like the whole show. Such an iconic shot. And yeah, it's obviously a little shout out to the ET bike chase. So I love that. I love the character work with Joyce and Hopper, and, you know, coming to see Jonathan and Nancy. There's a beautiful moment with Joyce and Jonathan where once again you see how much Joyce loves her boys, where she tells Jonathan, you know, you put yourself in danger, you put Nancy in danger, you keep acting like you're alone in this, but you're not alone in this, Jonathan. You know, you're not alone. You have me, and you just anyone who hates Joyce Byers can come and fight me, okay? Because Joyce Byers is awesome, and she is an awesome mother, and she is so good in this episode. She's just so protective, and she loves her boys so much. And when we get towards like what happens towards the end of the episode, I'll talk a little bit more about her and her interactions with Elle. Yeah. And of course, other characters, Steve Harrington, like just once again subverting your expectations, being a fantastic guy, telling off his douchebag friends, pointing out that they're assholes, and really proving that he does care about Nancy. And then, of course, you see him go to the movie theater and offer to help, to help wipe away the graffiti. And again, it's just such a subversion of what you would expect from the character, because they very easily could have just left Steve out from here on out. Like, he doesn't necessarily need to be in these final 2 episodes. They could have just had the fight with Jonathan be the end of it, but they don't. They show you that, again, even though Steve has moments where he definitely steps over the line, he regrets it, and he knows that what he's done is wrong, and he doesn't join Carol and Tommy when they're mocking, Nancy, and they're mocking Jonathan, and he tells them that they're being assholes. I just think that Steve is just such a surprising and such a great character, and that he has such a good arc in this, even in just this first season alone, where you see him make mistakes and then make up for them. So yeah, I mean, I don't think I can love Steve Harrington more than I do, but you never know. He's so awesome. But overall, yeah, I thought this was a really good episode, and I really liked the end of the episode, when everyone kind of comes together and is working together to try and find Barb and Will. It's just, it's a really solid, again, another really solid episode. I feel almost like these last 2 episodes are like a 2-parter finale. They're very linked together. And so this is like the build up to the finale that we'll get, right at the end. So overall, yeah, no, really, I really enjoyed this episode. What about you? What did you think of it?
Good stuff. I will just say, then Harrington's is a brand of dog food, right? So
I did not know that.
No, it might just be a UK thing. So just to put that in your mind, every time you hear Steve's surname, it's like brand of dog food. So Harrington's. Yeah, it's a really good episode. Again, that they build the tension, good character stuff throughout. The only thing, and it's not really a complaint, but I thought in the scene with Steve, when he gets into it with the bully, what's the bully's name again? Well,
Tommy.
His friend Tommy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's such a classic bully name. But
I know.
I just thought it was a bit weird. I guess it's because he is quite sort of skinny, isn't he, Steve? But I just thought they played it up a little bit too much, where, you can't beat me, I'll kick you. Because he obviously mentioned, you can even beat up Jonathan
Byers. Yeah.
And I just thought they played that up a bit. I just thought, well, this guy doesn't look that tough. I mean, couldn't Steve take him? But I guess just because he's quite skinny, maybe. But maybe it's just to add to the drama and make Steve more of an underdog, so that obviously
I think so.
When he atones later, it's even more of a big deal. But I will say it because obviously he has some great moments in the later seasons as well, Steve. But I will say there may be, well, it's sort of between this and what he does in the finale, but probably going and cleaning the graffiti might be his best ever scene in the show. I think that's actually really great because of the fact that actually Nancy doesn't even know about it. So you can tell he's doing it genuinely out of remorse and wanting to help. Yeah, no, I liked that too. You can see that there's no there's no, what's what I'm looking for, hidden intentions. He really is just trying to make amends. And like he says to them, he's like, I just want to help. And you feel very genuinely there, and you can definitely feel that he's feeling bad, and he really does want to help. Yeah, it's a very sincere scene, definitely. And the visual of him getting rid of it, is cleaning it, it's really good. So band together and work together, and things just come together. Good Nancy and Mike scenes in this episode, for example, where you get good brother and sister moments. And again, it's paying stuff off from earlier in the season, because they were sort of a typical squabbling type brother sister at the start of the season, and you obviously haven't seen much of them like bonding as like siblings this season. So because when they first come back together, it's like, you worried me sick, and I do like her throughout. Is that my dress? That line's pretty funny, because it's the first time she's seen now, and it's like she's dress, so that's pretty funny. And obviously the scene later, because obviously Nancy's become a little bit of a badass, because when she breaks the lock on that thing, and
you can see Mike's just like, whoa, like when did my sister, like when did that happen? He was quite impressed with her.
And they do like the brother sister type thing because obviously she asks her, or he asks her about Jonathan, and he asks her, oh, sorry, she asks him about Al. So
11,
and they do
yeah.
that sort of thing of yeah, are you kidding me, sort of thing, to embarrass Todd out as well with Joyce, just how protective she is of 11,
Yes.
and how
Yeah.
instantly, even though this isn't someone she knows, she steps up as like a mother type figure
Yeah.
and is
Yeah.
there for her. Oh, Clark scene, because that's brilliant.
Now, is he watching The Thing? Is that the thing that he's
That's
watching?
that's what I thought it was,
I
but
thought it was The
I
Thing.
can't tell, some sort of body horror. But I think it's
Yeah.
a thing, yeah.
I think it'd
And
be The Thing. It'd be a nice shout out if he was watching that,
definitely,
Carpenter 80s horror. But yeah, so of course, obviously, over the course of this episode, once they all come back together, they reveal to Joyce and Hopper that Elle can contact Will on the other side. And she tries to do it through the speaker and she can't find them. So then we see a scene where she's washing her face and she looks behind her and she sees the bathtub, and that's when she comes out and she's like, the bath, I can find them in the
yeah,
bath, which is a reference to the sensory deprivation tank. So yes, of course, the kids need to figure out how to build a sensory deprivation tank. So they call Mr. Clark, who's trying to get some. Mr.
yeah.
Clark is doing
He's
okay.
on a date,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. He's there with a
Friday
date.
night,
Yeah,
and
yeah. He's chosen a horror movie, so his date has to, snuggle up to him. It's very smooth, Mr. Clark. And once again, he just proves what a great teacher he is and what a great guy he is when Dustin calls him and he's like, Dustin, can we talk about this on Monday? I'm trying to get some here, kid. Like, stop cock blocking me. Then Dustin, I love his when he's all like, why are you trying to keep this curiosity door closed, Mr. Clark?
yeah, that's a great line. Yeah, the way he delivers that. That's so
Yes.
funny, and
And
yeah,
so yeah, so they give them the instructions on how to build a sensory deprivation tank. Need lots and lots of salt and the kiddie pool and everything. So they go to the school to do that. But what I really love about Elle and Joyce in this is when you think of Elle and you think of all the experiments that she's been put through, she's never had an adult in her life tell her it's okay if you're scared. If you want to
mm,
come out, we'll bring you out. I just love that Joyce sits her down and says to her, I am going to be with you this whole time. I will be with you. If you get too scared or if it gets too much, you let me know. Like, because you can tell that it's so important for Elle to have someone, and it's got to be easier for her to go to the Upside Down knowing that she's got people there who are going to help her and shield her if she's scared. And I just love, like you said, how Joyce just immediately sees like this little girl and goes, yes, I must be a mother to her. It's
yeah,
beautiful. And I just love that scene because you just know that Elle has never, ever had an adult in her life whom she can trust, ever. Because she's just been surrounded by government officials and her creepy papa, played by creepy Matthew Modine. And, that's all she's ever had is just abuse and constant manipulation. So to have someone be genuine with her and hold her, and even when she's in the tub, Joyce is saying, it's okay, sweetie, it's okay, I'm here. And she can hear her while she's in the Upside Down.
yeah,
She can hear Joyce. And I just think that's just so important for a character like Elle to finally have, that sort of adult support that she's never had. So yeah, I really love that scene. And I think that that's just like really effective to show just how good Joyce can be. Again, if you hate Joyce Byers, come and fight me, all right? Because she is awesome.
and we also can pretty much confirm in this episode that Barb's dead, which obviously we
Yeah.
sort of knew, but the characters maybe didn't, and certainly Nancy didn't, because obviously she asked Elle, can you find Barb as well, my friend Barbara, and obviously Elle did find her, but unfortunately it was still too late. And it's all good practical effects again, because you get a shot of the body and the sort of blood,
Yeah.
some of the slime, and she sort of like decomposed, sort of had she.
Mm-hmm.
So that again, really good practical effects.
Yeah.
I was a bit one basic question is, I wasn't quite sure why Barb was dead and Will wasn't. Is it just because he found a place to hide, or?
Yes, I think it's supposed to indicate, because they say
Yeah,
earlier in the series that Will is good at hiding. So I think it's just that he's
yeah,
been able to hide so well up until now. That yeah, because he's small and he's got his secret hideaway places. So I think
true.
it's just supposed to say that he maybe just got a little bit lucky.
Yeah,
Maybe taking Barb into the Upside Down distracted the monster from him. Plus, we find out that a few other people have gone missing. So
true.
maybe, yeah, while the monster's been taking other people, Will has just been able to hide really well, because they do mention that a few times, that he's a really good hider. So I think it's just a matter of luck and just kind of staying out of the way. Barb, unfortunately, I think we
Yeah,
knew from the beginning, as soon as Barb got dragged into the Upside Down,
yeah.
that she was kind of like a goner. So yeah, so I think Will just good at hiding and very lucky. But
Mhm.
still, poor Will, when Elle sees him, and you can see he is so close to death.
Yeah,
He's fading really fast. We get, that really sweet interaction between Will and Elle where she's saying, your mum's coming, and he just says hurry, and they hear the little voice come out of a speaker that just says hurry. And like, you know, I guess it's a good thing for Joyce and Jonathan to know that Will is still alive, but to hear him in that state has got to be really terrifying, to know that he's so close to death. And I just I had a conversation with Stephen. I was like, do you think that time moves differently in the Upside Down, or are we supposed to believe that Will has literally been there by himself for like
mm,
7 days? Because like that's pretty intense if he has been there for a full 7 days. So I floated the idea that maybe time moves differently there, but Stephen reckons that no, he was there for the full 7 days. What?
there for 7 days, just because there hasn't been anything to indicate otherwise.
No,
But
just wow.
it's tough to know, really. But
It's a
it could
long
be.
time for the kid to be, by himself in that scary place
It
with
is.
no one. Like, God, poor Will, what he must have gone through there. It's really quite horrifying to think about, because the Upside Down is so scary. We've seen Nancy react so badly to the Upside Down, and she's 16. Will's only 11 to go into that place and be
Sure.
stuck there with a monster hunting you. Like, poor
Yeah.
thing. And he's so little.
Again,
It's
there's some good direction in this episode. I like the direction of the scene where Hopper saves the kids basically when they're on the
yes.
bus, because
Yes.
obviously these cars pull up, which obviously the CIA guys, and so they're like about to come on the bus after the kids, and you just hear Hopper like beating them up outside, and you just see it from the kids' point of view, sort of thing. And it's like, yeah, good old renegade Hopper again.
Yes,
On
yes.
that
There are
side,
some
it's the
nice
way
moments of
it should
comedy in this one to kind of offset the darkness. I like the kids' discussion about Lando Calrissian. They're making the Star
be.
Wars reference
Yeah,
about Hop betraying them. Nancy has a couple of really funny moments, like when she sees the helicopter and she's like, "For Mike." And then I love her reaction when she runs into the Byers house and she sees how trash it is. She just kind of stops for a minute and she's like, whoa. And I'm like, yeah, no, fair enough. I think the Byers house is going to need some serious renovation after this.
sure.
And then, of course, you've got Hop at the station, when the kid whose arm was broken
Oh,
by Elle is
Troy,
trying
yeah,
to,
yeah.
yeah, so Troy, that's right. So that's another
That's a
great
funny
scene.
scene. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
and again, it's all sort of develops naturally because he finds out through Troy. He hears about Al, and yeah, there's some good stuff in that scene because I like the other cop sort of saying, it was a girl basically, like sort of embarrassing him more.
yeah.
That's pretty funny. But yeah, we obviously end perfectly set up for the finale because I do like the line from Nancy. Let's start let's finish what we started. Basically, when
Yeah.
her and Jonathan make the decision to
Yes. Yes.
go and actually back, because they come to the conclusion then Hop and Joyce are kind of going into potential death. That
Hmm.
they don't quite know what they're getting themselves into.
Yes.
And I like that because obviously they have sort of been through it. They have sort of faced this thing in a way. So, and it once again adds to this is in a way like the teenage sort of program. It's about them being proactive and stuff.
Yeah.
It wouldn't quite be the same if they just left it up to the adults. That they have to take charge, sort of thing. And
Mm.
go out and do it, finish what we started. Because it's almost like having found out that Barb's dead, you know, she's even more motivated now to do it for her friends, sort of thing, to face them.
Definitely.
So that's all good.
It's a great character moment for Nancy. I really like when she kind of looks at Jonathan and she's like, I want to find it. I want to kill it. Because, you can definitely tell she's being spurned by the fact that Barb is dead. And so she's like, no, I'm going to take revenge. And I also like that she is thinking about Joyce and Hopper, you know, and she's like, they're going to go into that place and they have no idea what they're walking into. Let's see if we can draw its attention away so they can save Will. And, of course, Joyce, again, gets another great moment where Hopper tries to go off by himself and get Will. And she's like, no, he is my son. Hopper, I am coming with you. There is no way that I am not going with you. And it's fantastic. Again, just shows just what a great mother she is and how much she loves her boys and how determined she is to bring Will home. So just really some really great character moments and really good moments for Joyce in this episode. And then, of course, you have that cliffhanger ending where you see poor Will in the Upside Down singing to himself again. He's singing that Clash song again. So they bring that up again, which I like. And then you can hear the Demogorgon outside his fort, and then of course we end on that jump scare of the Demogorgon just jumping through the thing, and you just think, oh my god, they're going to be too late. And I think it's just such a great moment to end on, to really make you just want to watch the finale and see what the hell is going on. Are they going to get to him in time? You know, you just think they're so close, they're coming, just hold on for a little while longer, Will. But the monster finds him, and it's just so intense. I love that ending. What about you?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's the perfect shot to end on, and again, the horror moments are really well handled.
Yes,
and it is the only way to end the episode, because it then builds the cliffhanger of will they get to Will in time, which obviously is what the last episode is really going to be about. So really good stuff.
Fantastic lead-in. Yeah.
So that's Stranger Things episode 7. One more to go till the end of the season, the big finale coming up. So we'll be back soon with that one. Like and subscribe as always. Share us out on social media. You can support me on Patreon for as little as £1 a month, or $1 if you're in the US. So that's patreon.com/boardnow. You get a bunch of extras, commentaries mostly at the moment. I'm doing X-Files commentaries. I also do movie commentaries once in a while. So there's a few of those up there. I did some around Christmas, and there's a few movie commentaries on there now, which you can catch up with if you sign up. But yeah, support me on Patreon as well. So Rachel, if you want to promote your channel.
Guys, you can follow me. My YouTube channel is Rachel McDonald. Video essays covering TV shows and movies. Links to my Tumblr and my Twitter are also on my YouTube channel, and Keith usually puts a link in the description so you can find me easily. So come and follow me everywhere.
Okay, thanks guys. We'll be back with the finale of Stranger Things 1 soon. Thanks. See you later.